Sam, so word on the street is that there's a lot of tall poppy syndrome in New Zealand. Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
100%.
Okay. What's been your experience dealing with tall poppy syndrome? Actually, let's start off with this, right? In your words, define what poppy syndrome is, and give me some examples of where you've actually dealt with it in your years of business or 1 year in business.
To me, like tall poppy tall poppy syndrome. You see someone coming up, they see someone rising, and for no apparent reason, they just want to take them out, right? It's seeing others succeed, and it's jealousy, right? Like that's what it comes back to. And New Zealand is terrible for it, right? You see people talk about it not only in construction. You see Israel Adesanya in the UFC talking about it. Everyone, it's bad here.
I agree.
I'm sure you've experienced it.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, man. And being 27 years old, starting a fit out company in an industry that's had these guys that have been doing it for 10, 20 years with big wallets and all this stuff, like we get it regularly, right? It's we do things a bit different. People don't like it. And I've definitely experienced in the last year some reservations. When we launched originally, we had a lot of designers come to me and sort of reach out and say, hey, I've actually been getting phone calls about saying not to work with you, that you're not that good.
Really?
Yeah.
From our
competitors, yeah.
So they've been told not to work with you.
Yeah. And
that's crazy,
more
man.
Or less, so we had that challenge at the start, and then...
How'd you overcome it?
What I realized, right, and when I started my business, I never went out being okay, well, I've worked with these people, I'm going to go for this. The big point of creating Build and what we wanted to achieve was we wanted to find independent operators and smaller businesses in different outlets and be like, hey man, I can service you. You don't need to have all the money in the world. We can still service you. So we just found them and found like-minded people and just did this. Every day at the start, I was facing adversity of people saying, we don't have anything at the moment. When I knew they were working with other fit out crowds, every day I went into the office and I was by myself. When I said the office, I was at home. I'd write 10 names down, 10 design companies. I'd Google that I loved what they were doing. It's something cool. And I just cold called everyone. And in terms of every time that I came up with hey, this, we've heard this and that, who's actually behind this company, what's going on here, and people just the rumor mill was firing, man. It was I just was honest. I was like, well, this is me. I'm doing this. This is what I can deliver. My word is my bond. If I tell you I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And we were just fortunate some people gave us an opportunity. And the way we marketed that and promoted it was no one had ever seen a fit out company do before. And then it just spiraled. People loved it. People liked seeing it. And people liked our energy. And we just had fun with it and found others that liked it too.
Because it can't be that difficult, right? All you've got to do is finish on time, under budget, and you keep winning more work.
You would think that, but everyone seems to be... Well, you've got this constant battle in the industry, right? The age-old tale, go in low, hit them with a variation. It's so common.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's... Yep.
Yeah.
It's a lot of companies out there that do that.
A lot of people doing that.
Bid it, cost, and rape and pillage it with variations.
Oh, exactly, right?
Yeah.
And which we morally don't agree with. We're really upfront with the cost. The big key difference is I was like, man, no one's explaining to designers early on, hey, if your client's budget is $1 million, what you've drawn right there, that's 1.5. But if you change this and that, we can get it closer to $1 million and work together. Essentially, and this was the pitch, right? I'll give you the magic pitch that got us through the times of what people were saying. I saw construction as a triangle, right?
Yep.
There's the client at the top. This is who wants the end result. Then you had the project manager in the construction company here, and then the designers here. And we were all working to serve the client, but we weren't working together. We were working against each other. At Build Interiors, we believe in a circle, man. At the end of the day, the client's needs and wants, we've got to work for. They've got to understand you can't have everything. You're never going to get it super cheap, super fast, and real high quality. Something's going to give.
Time, cost, quality.
Exactly, right? And then same as the designer. They've got to have the vision, right? I'm not a visionary by any means. If you ask me to draw you up a nice shop, I've built many, I would not know where to start. But I can tell you how to build one. Fast, efficiently, and what product is going to give you the best outcome. So we believe in that, an early engagement, talking, communicating, and value engineering. So, I sort of gone on a tangent.
That's all right.
I guess back to the point of dealing with the adversity, we were honest. And I think that's sort of what really put us apart. Just being real straight up, being real direct, and not being afraid to take risks. I guess another case of Tall Poppy.
Sorry, you go.
Of Tall Poppy is we were at an awards night, and I had a competitor make like a bit of a comment to me in front of a large crowd of people, and it was it didn't go down a great hit with myself, and it was just sort of a shot at me and what we were doing, and saying that there wasn't really space for us in the industry. And with that, what I did in that moment, to be honest, man, like you know, your instant gut reaction as you fired up this fire in your belly, and you're upset, and you know you want to lash out. We walked away. I was with my team, and we were at the award ceremony, and I just looked up and I looked at where we were, and I thought, shit, man, I don't care what anyone says. We're making it. The fact that we're in this room, we're doing something that's shaking this industry up.
Does that give you more drive?
Oh, 100%, man. I love it.
I find exactly the same thing. When that happens, I find myself more driven for the next couple of weeks. Like,
Fire me up, man.
Yeah, fires me up. Like, I've got chicken skin right now.
I
just talking about it.
I love it. Like I said, when we started, we had all these people going around saying things about me personally, saying things about the company, and weren't sure. And that just it lit the fire in my belly to get us to where we are now.
Yeah. Can I ask you one more question though?
Yeah.
What advice would you give anybody that's dealing with tall poppy syndrome now?
Be grateful. I'd be happy. Every time someone comes and they want to try and knock me down, they just build me up higher. I would use that, fuel off that, take that fire. Just think, you know you're doing something right. If they're there talking about you, you're in their head. They've already lost. They're thinking about you instead of thinking about how they're going to grow their business and do the rest of this. If I'm in your head, I know it's over. So be grateful. It's a compliment at the end of the day, right? And that's
Fair
the
enough,
best way
bro.
to look at it.
Fair enough. I've got to agree with that. No, well said. Well said.
Yeah, thanks, man.